श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Okay, we'll begin with a short bhajan for Ramnavami special bhajan and then we'll continue. You all can sing along in mute. You can all sing along. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम 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 भज तू प्यारी सीताराम 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 भज तू प्यारी सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम सुंदर विग्रह मेघश्याम गंगा तुलसी सालिग्राम सुंदर विग्रह मेघश्याम गंगा तुलसी सालिग्राम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम भद्रगिरीश्वर सीताराम भक्त जना प्रिय सीताराम भद्रगिरीश्वर सीताराम भक्त जना प्रिय सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम जानकी रमण सीताराम जय जय राघव सीताराम जानकी रमण सीताराम जय जय राघव सीताराम 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 भजतु प्यारे सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम 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 भज तू प्यारी सीताराम 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 जय सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा everybody. Okay. So which Goswami did we learn about in the last class?
Sanatan Goswami.
Sanatan Goswami. Very nice. And what is the most inspiring lesson that you took home from Sanatan Goswami?
Mm. His humility, his love.
Yeah, his humility, his love. Very nice. Others? Any other qualities that you take inspiration from or meditate upon? Which is the most interesting or inspiring pastime of Sanatan Goswami? You can put your answers in the chat also. What actually, blew your mind? Which pastime of Sanatan Goswami?
He never stayed under the same tree.
Yeah, he never stayed under
He
a tree.
detachment.
Okay, that is practicing detachment. Hari bol, yeah. And not just him, all the Goswamis actually, they never stayed under the same tree. That's one quality, one pastime. Any other things you remember? Others?
He wearing second-hand clothes.
Okay. Tone clothes.
Torn clothes.
That too. Someone who, I mean, can you imagine that costly blanket that he has? He exchanged it for torn quilt, and such nice clothes that he had. He gave it off, right? And he started wearing old, worn out clothes. Right? Yeah, placing worms back on his body. Hari bol. Who can you? I mean, can you imagine who does this? Right? And that too, I mean, can you imagine? Right? Placing the worms back on his body and saying, "My body is not fit for anything. At least let worms use it." Can you imagine? That is the highest level of humility. Highest level of humility. Right? Highest level of humility. And humility only gets us closer to Krishna. No, nothing else. Right? That's very nice. And also taking the long route instead of the short route that takes you directly into the Simhadwar of the Jagannath temple. He took the beach wala route, right? And entered the temple because he had that skin disease. He was like, oh no, no, the devotees, if they see me, their consciousness might get affected. They might feel, not nice, not very nice seeing this disease and all that. Let me take the beach route. And barefoot he used to walk, and he used to get blisters on his foot. Can you imagine? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to embrace him. Right? At the moment Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced, all his skin disease gone. Right? So that is Sanatan Goswami. Even after Jagadananda coming and saying, "Go, just go back to your place," Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like, "How dare you send him? You stay till next Ratha Yatra. Not just the coming one, but even after that, next year also." So he consecutively stayed. I mean, he stayed for two consecutive Ratha Yatras, right? So that's how favorite Sanatan Goswami was, and he's the most knowledgeable Goswamis of the six Goswamis, right? And not only that, he spent a lot of time with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him the most knowledge compared to other Goswamis. That's why although Rupa Goswami is predominant for ISKCON, Rupa Goswami's spiritual master is Sanatan Goswami, right? And today we will be learning about Jiva Goswami. So who is Jiva Goswami? Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami are, brothers, okay. Who is this Jiva Goswami? Anybody? Who is he? He is definitely related to both Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, but how?
Nephew of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami.
Exactly, nephew. Right, so Jiva Goswami is nephew of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So he's very young, very small compared to other Goswamis. He's actually the youngest Goswami. He's very small Goswami, and but highly knowledgeable. Okay, highly knowledgeable, and yeah. So he's the nephew of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. And see, Anupama. Who is Anupama? We remember, no, reading about Anupama. Who is he? Somewhere we had a mention of Anupama. Where? Anybody remembers?
Mataji, brother Mataji.
Brother of?
Sanatan Goswami and
Yeah, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. They are two brothers. They have one more brother, that is Anupama. And Anupama did not become a Goswami. Rather, he took up Grihasthashram. Right? So, Anupama's son is Jiva Goswami. So, Jiva Goswami is none other than Anupama's son. And Jiva Goswami's spiritual master is Rupa Goswami. So, this is the hierarchy, right? Sanatan Goswami's spiritual master is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Rupa Goswami's spiritual master is Sanatan Goswami. As in, most of the guidance was taken from Sanatan Goswami. So, Rupa Goswami's spiritual master is Sanatan Goswami, and Rupa Goswami in turn became spiritual master for Jiva Goswami. This is the hierarchy. Okay, and Jiva Goswami took up the worship of the deities of Sri Sri Ramakrishna in his childhood. Rama and Krishna he used to worship, right, in his childhood. Which other devotee worshipped such spiritual toys in childhood? Somebody else also did it, no? We all learnt about him.
Srila Prabhupada.
Haribol, yeah, Srila Prabhupada. Which deity did he worship, Mataji?
Radha and Krishna.
Yeah, Radha Krishna deities he used to worship in his childhood, toy deities. In same way, when Jiva Goswami was also brought up, see, this is the advantage of taking birth in a devotee's house, right? Right from the childhood, the parents will make you devotee, right? So, it's not easy actually to take birth in a devotee house. The only unsuccessful yogi, right? If you've been a very sincere devotee in this life, and if you've not able to complete, as in go back home, back to Godhead in this life, then Krishna will give you a chance to take birth in a Vaishnava family, right? Shuchi Nam Srimatam Gehe, right? So in that Shuchi family, Krishna will give you an opportunity to complete your remaining devotional service so that you can go back home, back to Godhead, right? So it's not easy. So Jiva Goswami had that advantage because Anupama is a devotee, right? So he also got he was in the childhood itself he used to worship the deities of Rama and Krishna. And from his very childhood, Jiva Goswami was greatly fond of Srimad Bhagavatam. These are all symptoms that Jiva Goswami is again not an ordinary person. He is also a Manjari. All the 6 Goswamis are Manjaris from Goloka Vrindavan. That means some previous devotional service traces are there. Otherwise, this inclination will not come, right? So from that too from childhood. In childhood, he was inclined towards, inclined towards Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And later his father left the body. That is Anupama, right? The brother, he left the body. The moment his brother, the father Anupama left the body, what happened? Jiva Goswami was under the care of the Goswamis, actually, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So he became a Sanskrit scholar, right? So he went to Navadvip to study Sanskrit, and he followed in the footsteps of Nityananda Prabhu, right? Can you imagine? And he circumambulated the entire Navadvip Dham, henceman in a turbulent sea. Yeah. So he circumambulated the entire Navadvip Dham. Can you imagine? Right? So that is how Jiva Goswami is. So after his father left the body, he went to become a great Sanskrit scholar, right? So that's why even he wrote a lot of scriptures, right? And then in Navadvip Dham, and then he circumambulated Navadvip. Even today, a lot of people do know Navadvip Parikrama. It's very auspicious. Like how Vrindavan we have Govardhan Parikrama, in Mayapur we have Navadvip Parikram, right? Very difficult. For Matajis, it's not recommended. But still Matajis go with other Mataji association. But Prabhus, they can go. It's because it's very rural and there's not even proper electricity supply when you do parikrama, right? And you have to stay in tents and all that. But if you do it once, that's it. Yeah, your Goloka ticket is guaranteed, right? So Navadvip Parikram is very, very auspicious. And Jiva Goswami did it. Can you imagine? And after visiting Navadvip Dham, he went to Benares to study Sanskrit under Madhusudana Vachaspati. He's the this is another Sanskrit Pandit, right? Who taught Jiva Goswami further Sanskrit, specialization, okay, in Benares. And after finishing the studies, he went to Vrindavan and took shelter of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Right? So, from the moment Anupama left, his father left, he came under the shelter of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. That's why he went to study, all this Sanskrit and all, so that he can also start writing scriptures and all that. Right? So, after finishing his studies, he went and he completely went under the shelter of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So, all this is taken from Bhakti Ratnakara. Okay, it's again a bona fide scripture which gives us details about the Goswamis. Okay, and after the disappearance of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, Srila Jiva Goswami became the Acharya of all the Vaishnavas in Bengal, Orissa, and rest of the world. And it is he who used to guide them in their devotional service. So Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami are seniors, father's age. But Jiva Goswami is like very young, right? He's like a son. So obviously, after, I mean, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami disappeared first, and then Jiva Goswami took over, as in he became the Acharya, that one Acharya for all the Vaishnavas. We will see all these Vaishnavas that we are learning here, right? It could be Narottam Das Thakur, it could be Srinivas Acharya, it could be anybody, like all the Vaishnavas in Bengal. Srila Jiva Goswami became their spiritual master, right? And we will be learning about each of these Vaishnavas, going forward. And it is he who used to guide them in all their devotional service, right? So that's why disciplic succession was also very, very important, right? So there are three ways to realize truth, right? Anybody knows what are the three ways? Like, how do you get to know something? How do you get to know something? Like in normal sense, how do you get to know something? No one knows. How do you learn something new?
By reading or listening about it, Mataji.
Okay, by reading and listening about it, that is one method. You will learn. Other methods?
By listening to advice from the Guru.
That is also reading and listening. Other methods?
By seeing.
Okay, seeing. Okay. Seeing is next method. Next, we have one more method left. Okay, you see it happening and then you understand, okay, something is there. And then when somebody comes and tells you, you listen to it and you understand. Or by reading it, you will understand. That is second method. Third method? Third method is by experimentation or experience. You experience it in your life, right? Something happens to you, and then you'll understand. Okay, you will learn, right? Or by experimentation. This comes under experimentation method, right? So there are three methods. One is pratyaksha praman, right? As Mataji said, by seeing you will learn, and then anumana praman, that is by experimentation or experiencing, right? And then shabda praman. Shabda Pramana is listening and reading to the seniors and authoritative bona fide scriptures, right? Which do you think is the best method to learn something out of these three methods?
Experiencing.
Experiencing. Okay. Other answers?
Reading.
Reading
Lis-
and listening.
Listening and reading, Mataji.
Okay, reading and listening. Why? Why, Mataji, when you said experiencing, why experiencing? So I'll give you an example. Yeah, yes, Mataji.
You live it. When you learn something and you understand
Okay.
leading it. Mm.
Okay. That is a nice way. Okay. But say I'll give you an example of fire burning our hand. Okay. When somebody comes and tells us, oh, don't keep your hand inside the fire, it'll burn your hand. Right? Or when we read somewhere, is that easier? Right? Or when you see somebody burning their hand by keeping their hand in the fire, is that easier? Or by you yourself putting your hand inside the fire and oh, it's burning, is that easier? Which do you think is easier to learn? Yeah? Which is the easy method to learn that, okay, fire burns?
Mataji, you mean easy or impactful method?
Easy
It's
method.
easy is to see someone else burning.
Okay. Why not listen to somebody else when they say it is burning?
Because it is just something told by someone else.
What
If
if
it
it's a
happens
bona
in front
fide
of
source?
us,
What if it's a bona fide source coming and telling us it's, do not keep, it'll burn you? Easier, right? If
yeah,
somebody who is bona fide, right, who knows everything about fire, say he studied about fire, right? He's a scientist in the field of fire. Okay, he comes and says fire has the capacity to burn. Do not keep your hand in the fire, right? Because of all his qualifications, when he comes and tells you, it's very easy to understand everything about fire, right? Oh, fire burns, fire does this, fire does that. He will give you a list of everything about fire. Then you'll listen to it and then you'll be like, oh, now I also know about fire because it's a trusted source. I can trust this person. He is a scholar in fire. So whatever he's told, I know. It's correct only, right? It's far better than making up, seeing another person suffering, papa, right? He's burning his hand in the fire. Then you will understand, oh, no, fire actually burns, right? So, and even worse is actually experiencing that way. You will burn your hand, you would have already burnt by then, right? So that's why Shabda Praman is the best way of understanding. For that matter, if you apply it to spirituality, right? Why are we sitting and reading or listening to see these discourses and all that? Is because a bona fide acharya is telling you about God. Okay, and he's an expert. He's like that fire scientist. Okay, he's an expert in the matter of God, in the subject of God, like Srila Prabhupada. Right? When he tells us, we listen. And just by listening, we are also seeing the Lord. We are also understanding about the Lord. Right? We are also, we see through the Acharya's eyes actually. We don't have our own eyes to see because we are not qualified to see the Lord at this point, right? We need prema chakshu to see the Lord, right? Like Arjuna, for example, Bhagavad Gita, he couldn't see the Lord. The Vishwarupa was being shown, but Arjuna was not able to see. So Krishna says, oh, wait, your normal eyes that you have, you cannot see Vishwarup. I'll give you Divya Chakshu. Only then you can see, right? So we do not have the right eyes to see the Lord at this point, right? But Acharyas have. Because they have, we see through them, right? So we see through our ears first. We listen to the acharyas, right, describing about the Lord, telling us everything about God, and then we come to an understanding. Oh, this is God. Now I also know about God, right? When Prabhupada teaches us through through the purports, now we also know about God, right? But if you want to realize God yourself by experience, it will not happen in this entire life. Only it will not happen because we don't know anything about God, right? So Krishna will not give us transcendental experiences just like that, right? We have to be what do you call, we have to earn it, right? We have to have some kind of qualification to experience the divine, right? So that qualification is initially given to us by the process of Shabda Pramana, or just by listening to the acharyas. They will prepare us like clay, right? They mold us, right? They mold us, and then we can get the transcendental experience or divine experience ourselves, and we can see the Lord. So the best method is Shabda Praman all the time, right? It's always Shabda Praman. Shabda means sound, right? So you acquire knowledge through the sound of Acharya's words, through reading the purports, through listening to the lectures, right? Then, like America, say you want to go to America, but you don't know anything about America. How will you go? You don't even know there's a place called America that exists. Then how will you experience America? Only if you go there, you can see America, you can experience America. But you don't know something like that even exists. So that begins by Shabda Praman. Somebody will come and tell you, oh, you know, there's this place called America. Then you'll be like, oh, is it? There's a place called America. And that place has this. I didn't know only. Then you will start craving, oh, I want to go to America. I want to see America. Then you will see, right? And then you'll start experiencing America, right? Same way. So Shabda Praman is the best way. So that's why Guru Parampara system is so important. The question is, why should we learn about acharyas? Okay, Jiva Goswami did this. How am I connected? What I should do with that? Let him do whatever he wants. There are a lot of devotees who have this question. Why should I know about acharyas? Because through the acharyas only we can see the Lord, right? So the sampradaya connects back to Krishna, right? It's from Krishna, then Brahma gave the knowledge to Narada Muni. Narada Muni gave the knowledge to Vyasadev. Vyasadev gave the knowledge to Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami gave the knowledge to Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami gave the knowledge to Shaunaka Muni, and it just goes on and on and on. And then somewhere it reached Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, right? Even before that, Madhvacharya, right? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then the Goswamis, and then Jiva Goswami to these Vaishnava Acharyas. From them, it just came, and then it came to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, then Jagannath Das Babaji, then Bhakti Vinod Thakur, then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, then Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur, and Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur gave the knowledge to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada gave it to all of us, right? That's why it's very, very important. What are we learning? Is it bona fide or not? Because it's all through Shabda Praman. Until we knew God exists, why would we crave to see the Lord? Or why would we crave for those divine experiences? Impossible, right? So that's why Shabda Praman is that important. That's why having an Acharya is very important, and Acharya's role is even more important. The role that Jiva Goswami is playing here is the foundation of Prabhupada's purpose. Can you imagine? Had Jiva Goswami not, taken up this role of Acharya and instructed all the Vaishnavas in Bengal, then no bhajans we would have, no Narottam Das Thakur would compose bhajan, no Bhakti Vinod Thakur would compose bhajan, nobody would write, nobody would give us scriptures, nobody would, understand about God. So that's why we are learning about Jiva Goswami, but that's why we are learning about all the acharyas because we are highly indebted, and their work, it's priceless, right? And in Vrindavan, Jiva Goswami established Radha Damodar temple, and now it is maintained by ISKCON. Okay, so all Goswamis, no, each of them established a temple, right? Which temple did Rupa Goswami build? Any idea? Which temple?
Bhakti Vilas.
No, that's the bookmark. The
Oh.
temple that he built.
Radha Madan Mohan.
Yeah, Radha Madan. Madan Mohan.
No, that was built by somebody else.
That was built by a trader. Yeah.
Trader, yeah, but it was Sanatan Goswami who built it, who made the trader build it. But what about Radha Govinda Dev? That was built by Rupa Goswami.
Okay.
Radha Govinda Dev. And so Radha Govind temple and Radha Damodar temple was built by Jiva Goswami. Okay, so that's the temple he built. And yeah, so these are all small interesting pastimes and about Jiva Goswami. So this is Jiva Goswami whom you're seeing in the picture, right? So what happened once the aging Vaishnava Vallabhacharya gave critical advice to Sri Rupa Goswami on his writing. Although much younger than the Venerable Vallabha, Sri Jiva brazenly spoke in defense of his Guru. Sri Rupa Goswami scolded Srila Jiva Goswami, telling him to leave Vrindavan. Living in an abandoned crocodile hole in Nandaghat, Srila Jiva Goswami began fasting. He subsisted on wheat flour, which he begged mixed with Yamuna water. Seeing his strict self-denial, Sanatan Goswami brought him back to the service of Srila Rupa Goswami. Right? So depicts the qualities of an advanced Vaishnava. So what happened? This Vallabhacharya is a very renowned scholar, but lot of false ego. Okay, he used to say, "Oh, I am the best scholar in the world. Nobody can defeat me," and all that. Okay, so he, like when he came to town, Vrindavan, all the scholars actually hid. They were like, "Who will go and argue with this Vallabhacharya? Let him only win." Right? So same thing, Jiva Goswami, same thing happened with Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. When Vallabhacharya went to Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they did not want to waste time. So they said, "Okay, whatever you say is correct. You are only the winner. Please go. We have lot of scriptures to write." Right? That's what they both did. But the same Vallabhacharya, when he went to Jiva Goswami and he said, "Oh, I am that, I am this. See, I defeated Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and all that." Jiva Goswami couldn't tolerate. Okay. He was like, "How dare you, condemn my guru?" So Rupa Goswami is Jiva Goswami's guru, right? So how can you talk ill about my guru? So it is said, no, you can tolerate anything in the world, but you shouldn't be tolerating blasphemy of a Vaishnava, especially your spiritual master. You cannot tolerate. It's just horrible, right? You are not supposed to tolerate. And we are not, if somebody is blaspheming a Vaishnava, and if you are hearing that, it is given in the scriptures that we are not supposed to live. After hearing all that, we are supposed to give up our life only, right? So that's why Jiva Goswami couldn't tolerate it and started defeating Vallabhacharya and having a argument or a competition. So Rupa Goswami and Rupa Goswami did not like it, right? Why are you wasting time with Vallabhacharya and other things, right? Go focus on your mission. That's what Rupa Goswami told. So Rupa Goswami gave him a big lecture and, finally, said, just go away from Vrindavan. So that's why Srila Jiva Goswami got very upset actually, and he subsisted on wheat flour. Can you imagine? Yamuna water, the it's raw wheat flour that he just ate, and he subsisted on that, right? And Sanatan Goswami got extra merciful, and then he took Jiva Goswami back to Vrindavan. So here the hierarchy I already told you. Sanatan Goswami is the spiritual master of Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami is the spiritual master of Jiva Goswami. That means Sanatan Goswami is grand guru of Jiva Goswami, right? Grand guru. So it's like usually grandfather is more merciful to the grandchild than the father, right? Same thing happened here. Sanatan Goswami was extra merciful to Jiva Goswami and took him back to Vrindavan, right? And this is very, very, it's a nice, we might all feel, oh, it's a comedy pastime, but lot to learn. Even if your guru chastises you, you're not supposed to tolerate blasphemy of guru or Vaishnava. As a disciple, or as a devotee, it is our responsibility, right? So especially this applies when we are in a non-devotee circle, right? Like in office or any other place, right? When you are in a non-devotee circle, and say they see you chanting, or they see you with a tilak kanti, they start making fun and things like that, right? So they might be making fun of your kanti, but is actually an offense to the Vaishnavas or the parampara system itself, right? Because it is they who has given us the guideline to wear kanti mala and all that, right? So we are not supposed to tolerate. Either you leave the place or you can defeat them. We are not in a state to defeat them because we don't know scriptures ourselves. So we have to leave the place. If you don't leave the place, then Prabhupada says we have to give up our life only. Okay. So that is the responsibility of all of us. And Srila Prabhupada once commented that it was not done to teach or punish Jiva Goswami, who is perfectly liberated, eternal associate of the Lord. Rupa Goswami sent Jiva Goswami out of Vrindavan to teach all Jivas what he wrote in Upadeshamrita, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiha Vegam, Udaropastha Vegam. Right? So all times a devotee should control his tongue, his speech, and always remain humble. Right? So this is also very important. So so the punishment, right? So Prabhupada comments, it's not really a punishment, but it is to teach all of us through Jiva Goswami that it's better to mind our business, right? So instead of going and defeating some acharya and all that, it's always better to mind our business and focus on our sadhana. So vacho vegam. Vacho vegam means controlling our tongue. That's very, very important. Controlling our speech, right? And remain humble. Remain humble. Trinadapi shunichena tarorapi sahishnana. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So one's first duty in all spiritual affairs is sense control. Sense control, right? Vacho vegam, manasa, krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udro upasta vegam. So what is all this? Vacho vegam means controlling tongue. Different, not eating everything and anything, eating only Krishna prasadam. And manasa means controlling of, um, mind, right? Mind should be controlled. Vacho means speech. Speech has to be controlled, not talking anything and everything. Very regulatedly, we have to talk. Is this necessary or not? And we have to talk, right? Krodha is anger control, right? Vegam means to control the urge, right? Krodha vegam. Jihva vegam, that is tongue. Udara means stomach, right? Hunger control, right? On fasting and Ekadashi days, this acts actually, right? Udara vegam. And then upasta means genitals or the sex desire has to be controlled, right? Has to be controlled even if it is difficult, right? Prabhupada says out of all these 6, right, only the last one, that is upasta vegam, is very difficult. All these 5, it's easy. Vacho vegam, manasa, krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udara, it's easy. But the last upasta vegam is very difficult, and that is actually a test for our devotion service. Where do we stand, right, in our devotion service? It depends on how comfortable or how easy it is for you to control the last or desire, sex desire, or desire of our genitals, right? That is very important. That comes with devotional service. When you engage your mind towards the Lord, right, everything else becomes zero. You don't want anything else in your life because you have engaged your mind or kept your mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, right? That is important, and that is very, very important, in fact, right? And when Jiva Goswami was still present, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami compiled his famous Chaitanya Charitamritam. This happened in the presence of Jiva Goswami. Can you imagine, right? So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's spiritual master is also Rupa Goswami. So in after every verse, you can see after every chapter, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes Shri Rupa Raghunatha Dasa. I'm the servant of Shri Rupa and Raghunatha Goswami, right? Padayara Asha Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Kaha Krishnadasa, right? That's what he writes. And later, Sri Jiva Goswami inspired Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, Dukhi Krishnadas to preach Krishna consciousness in Bengal. These are all the Vaishnavas, right, whom Sri Jiva Goswami, tutored or taught, right? And they all became empowered preachers, right? Narottam Das Thakur is the biggest poet, right? And Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, all of these acharyas. And then Srila Jiva Goswami was informed that all the manuscripts, this comes, we will learn about this in detail when we learn about Srinivas Acharya and Narottam Das Thakur. Okay, I think after Goswamis, we will be learning about them. This pastime, this manuscript pastime, we will be learning there. Okay, and Jiva Goswami awarded the designation Kavi Raja to Ramachandra Sena, a disciple of Srinivas Acharya, and Ramachandra's younger brother Govinda. So all these people, Ramachandra, Srinivas Acharya, etc., we will be learning in detail in the coming classes. Okay, and while Jiva Goswami was alive, Srimati Jahnavi Devi. Okay, so Jahnavi Devi is actually Nityananda Prabhu's wife, right? So Nityananda Prabhu had left the world, but Jahnavi Devi was still present. Okay, so Jahnavi Devi is the pleasure potency of Nityananda Prabhu. When she went to Vrindavan with a few devotees, right? And Srila Jiva Goswami was very kind to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas from Bengal. Whoever went to Vrindavan, he provided with a residence and prasadam. Can you imagine? Although he's a Goswami, he had had such a following, right? Who with of grihasthas and other rich people, they helped him with all this, giving residence and prasadam for all the Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas especially, whoever went to Vrindavan, right? And his disciple Krishnadas Adhikari listed all the books of Goswamis in his diary, And in Gaura Gunadesha Deepika, it is said that Srila Jiva Goswami was formerly Vilasa Manjari. Vilasa Manjari. He's a Manjari. He's a gopi again from Golok Vrindavan. So Vilasa Manjari, she has come down in the form of Jiva Goswami. Okay. So these are all the books that Jiva Goswami has written. Okay. So all these are very much celebrated. Right. Harinamamrita Vyakharna, Sutara Mallika, Dhatu Sangraha, Krishnarcha Deepika, Gopala Virudhavali, Rasamrita Shesha, Sri Madhava Mahotsava, Sri Sankalpa Kalpa Vriksha, Bhavartha what? Suchaka Champu and Gopala Tapani Tikha. Oh my God. So all these books he's written, and he's written a commentary on Brahma Samhita, right? Brahma Samhita we all recite, right, during Abhishekam. So he's written the commentary on that. He's written commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that is Nectar of Devotion, right? If you read Nectar of Devotion by Srila Prabhupada, he also, almost in every line he mentions Jiva Goswami's commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right? And commentary on Ujjvala Neelamani, and he's written commentary on Yageshwara, Yogashwara, Yogasara Sattva, and commentary on Gayatri Mantra as described in Agni Puran, a description of the Lord's lotus feet derived from Padma Puran, description of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, Gopala Champu in 2 parts, right? And 7 Sandarbhas, especially Sandarbhas are referred to, I mean, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mostly talks about Sandarbhas, which are all compiled by Jiva Goswami. Krama Sandarbha, Tattva, Bhagavat, Paramatma, Krishna, Bhakti, and Preeti Sandarbhas. Okay, so Sandarbhas give us a conclusive understanding of devotional service and the Lord. Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna. Next class we will be learning about Gopal Bhatt Goswami. Any questions from today's class? Any questions on Jiva Goswami? Yeah, during Corona, we were restricted to indoors because we listened to the health ministry that it is contagious. Yeah, there's a perfect example. Do you want to understand Corona by experience or just by listening? Listening is better, no? Right? Because we learnt by the bona fide sources, they experimented and all that, and they told us it is contagious. So do not come out of the house. So we all listened and we followed that lockdown rules and all that. Then, so no Corona. Corona did not affect us much, right? Now, yeah, so a person who can tolerate the urge to speak, minds, demands, actions of anger. This is the shloka that we were learning, right? Juhavegam and all that.
Yes, Mataji. Translation.
Translation. Very nice. So such a person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Right? Some people know, we all commonly, I'm saying, not to target anyone, we all have this problem. Oh, this person is not listening to me. That person is not listening to me. I'm saying something very nice. It's correct. It's good for that person. But still that person is not listening to me. This is something we have to earn. We have to earn it. When you tell something, if the other person has to listen to you, right, it should be earned. You cannot request or beg or anything. It should be earned, right? It should be earned. And what is the qualification? That is this: if we control our urges and if we mind our business, then we can make disciples all over the world. We can become Jagat Guru. Srila Prabhupada is Jagat Guru. He never went and begged people, you have to chant, you have to chant. What did he do? He sat under the tree and he chanted. People came to him and said, oh, what is this you're chanting? We also want to know, out of curiosity. Some people came to him out of curiosity. Some people came to him out of pity. Oh, he's such an old man. He's chanting under the tree in the park. People went to him. So this is the lesson we have to take back, right? We can become a guru even to a person, one single person. If you want them to listen to you, you should be manifesting those qualities first, right? With the sense control. Then just by looking at you, others will start, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes definition of a Vaishnava is just by looking at you, people will start chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can you imagine, right? That is very, very important. Attendance link, I don't know. Prabhu, please look into it. Yeah, Prabhupada's disciples used to peek through the keyhole to see what he's doing. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Hare Krishna. Anything to add? Any other inputs? Any questions? Nothing?
1 second, Mataji.
Yeah. The
Mataji, Manjusha Mataji, were you able to access the link, Mataji? It is just the date that you find problem entering, or? Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. When I try to fill up the date, then it comes that the date is invalid. I think because at the top of the attendance sheet, it is written for Saturday course.
Saturday, is it, Mataji?
Yeah,
Let me check.
could be. I don't know. But the date is not been accepted. Last time also I tried.
The attendance that it says is October 2024 Bhakti Sadhachar. So it doesn't say Saturday.
Okay, I'll try again. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Do you have the link, or should I send you the link, Mataji? I'll post the link again for you.
Yeah, I got the link on the chat.
Yes,
I'm
Mataji.
trying through that only. Yeah, I'll try again next time.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji.
thank you. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Anything else you all wanna add? Or else we can end the session. Okay, nothing, then we can end. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Anantakoti Vaishnav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna. So
Hare
Manjusha
Krishna.
Mataji, if you have any more problem with the attendance, you can directly ping Giridhar Prabhu. Okay, I think you can find the number in the group, his number.
Sure. Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all for joining. Next class, we will be learning about Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Radha Raman, and etc. etc. Very interesting. Please do join. Hare Krishna.